Okay, I think we're live. Thank you so much for joining us on a brand new episode of 420 grams. Um, though I don't think it's showing 5 minutes to live on YouTube. Annie, can you hear me?
Over here, it's showing live.
You're live? It's showing on your thing? You
Yeah.
can see us?
Yes, it's live.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm sorry, apologies for that. Yeah, ये remote काम में ना ऐसे ही काम होता है. But thank you so much for joining us on a brand new episode of 420 grams. It's been exactly 74 years since we last did our last episode. And as you can see, मेरी थोड़ी दाढ़ी आ गई है, जयदीप सर के थोड़े बाल आ गए हैं. Ishfaq is looking like a football player, even though he's not playing. He's in the management side of things. And we've joined by a new person who you've seen on our previous shows as well. His name is Tathagatha Mukherjee, who is a independent consultant in Indian football. Now think what you may of that. Tathagat, thanks for taking our time and joining us. Ishfaq, good to see you, sir. And Jaydeep, sir, as always, it's lovely to have everyone on the show. So before we get chatting about what's going on, Ishfaq, how's it going? ISL now is coming to that final stage. क्या आई थिंक 28 दिन मैं किसी से बात कर रहा था जो बबल में था फ्रॉम अ प्रोडक्शन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. तो मैंने कहा भाई कितने दिन बाकी हैं बबल में. इसे सर यहाँ पे रिवर्स काउंटडाउन शुरू हो गया है. 28 दिन बाकी है. आपका भी ऐसा कुछ है रिवर्स काउंटडाउन?
Yes, finally it's towards the end, especially the league stage. Yeah. I think by 26th, our last match is on 26th. Most of the teams will be knowing who is qualified. And I think by now 2 teams already have qualified. And 2 more teams have to be. There is a still, great deal of uncertainty who is going to qualify 3rd and 4th, because they are, it's that accumulation of all the 8 teams at 23, 22, 21 points, something like that. 3 more matches to go. Yes, समझो खत्म होने को है और फिर नॉकआउट 4 मैचेस और 1 फाइनल.
तो फिर बीबी जी अभी भी बात कर रही है कि बीबी जी ने बोल दिया अब आप बबल में रहो दोस्त. अब वापस मत आना.
अब तो वो मतलब शक्ल वकल भी भूल गई होगी.
ठीक है सर, बट मुश्किल काम है. तथागत, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग विद यू इन द इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंसी वर्ल्ड ऑफ इंडियन फुटबॉल? व्हाट्स अप?
Well, watching a lot of I-League games, ISL games, जितना भी फुटबॉल हो सके देख रहा हूँ और इधर उधर बात करके प्लेयर्स के बारे में बोलता रहता हूँ कुछ लोगों को, और दूसरे भी छोटे मोटे काम करते रहते हैं फुटबॉल में.
Okay, not bad. That was as brief as it could be. Jaydeep sir, how have you been? आपको याद है exactly how many days back we last shot a show? कुछ किया हमने बातचीत?
A couple of months, I think, na? With a lot of promises that we are soon coming back. But promises are meant to be broken, so why bother about it?
I just wanted to say that the joke is on you who believed us. But भाई देखो, मैं आपको बता देता हूँ जब मैंने उस पे चैनल पे डाला कम्युनिटी पे and I said we're coming back. One guy said, "Oh, you guys are still existing." I said, yes, we're existing. Yeah. And then one guy has said the best thing: the most consistent, inconsistent channel. Yeah, we know that. But yeah, zabardast. But I apologize for that. It's not Jaydeep's fault. It's not Ishfaq's fault. The fault solely lies with me, who is trying to grow दाढ़ी, and हमारे दाढ़ी वाले भाई जो आज हमारे साथ हैं नहीं, पर उनके अंदर ना क्रांति की आत्मा आई हुई है कुछ दिनों से. तो मैंने कहा आप अपनी क्रांति की आत्मा जरा बाहर रखना. तो वो संडे का मजा उठा रहे हैं, लेकिन हम 4 यहाँ पे आज बात करेंगे. And the reason we're here is because so the ISL is coming to an end, as we spoke about it, and in between this Igor Stimac साहब जो हैं वो क्रोएशिया से बैठ के मैचेस देख रहे हैं, और उनका बीच में अभी एक कोट भी आया है that the new camp, that whenever the camp comes up for the World Cup qualifiers, because remember India still has to play three games in those World Cup and Asian Cup qualifiers, the camp for which Jaydeep sir will be held in Dubai, right? That is what you have written for a piece on Newsclick.
Yeah, but see, what I wrote that most probably it will be held in Dubai, and it is still actually I will explain you the situation what is going on. तीन मैच बाकी है इंडिया के वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स के अंदर, बांग्लादेश, कतर एंड अफगानिस्तान, ये 3 मैचेस ही बाकी है ना इंडिया के वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स के लिए। एक होम है और आई थिंक 2 होम है, एक अवे है, ऐसा कुछ है, व्हाटएवर। So all the because of the COVID problem, the AFC told most of the groups, all the whosoever in any group, they told them ki if you can manage yourself, you do it, and if you want to hold it in a single venue, you are also welcome to do it. Even if you hold your matches on a non-FIFA date, that is also not a problem. Like Bangladesh and Qatar did in December, which Bangladesh lost by 5 goals. So India has no problem, Qatar has no problem, even Oman has no problem, and it was decided that the central venue would be Oman, most probably Muscat, and all other teams will come there and play. So in the light of that, All India Football Federation decided the camp would be held in Dubai, where they can hold a 15-day camp and also at the same time play a couple of friendly matches here and there with club sides or whosoever.
But when was this decided, sir? Because Dubai is going into some serious problems right now.
Yeah, but the camp will be held according to their COVID protocol. That was not a problem. So, but the thing is that Bangladesh was the first one to object, and that has been told by Afghanistan. They are not agreeing to the central one venue the issue. They are saying, Bangladesh wants the India match to be held in Dhaka, of course, because there will be a big crowd. They will have a lot of, and they will have an advantage also of hosting India, which is fair enough. But Afghanistan also doesn't want to play in a one venue tournament. So now everything is being stuck, because now it has. I think finally the ball is in AFC's court, because if the teams can't agree on a certain policy, then AFC will have to come in and finalize whatever they want to do. In that case, it will be held in different venues. So unless that is decided, AFF is not being able to finalize the date and venue of the camp. But camp will be held in March for the simple reason AFC has said all the all the matches of this round, all matches has to be finished by June 15, because they want the qualifiers to end by November. All the 4.5 teams or 5 teams which will qualify from Asia will have to be finalized by November, 1 year before.
तो आपका एशियन कप भी तब तक डिसाइड हो जाएगा, मतलब आप कह रहे हो?
एशियन कप का मुझे मालूम नहीं, डिसाइड नहीं होगा, लेकिन आगे तो चला ही जाएगा. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट वर्ल्ड कप. India is not going to the second round. India's problem, in all probability, India is not going to the second round from the results we have at hand. But India's main concern is Asia Cup qualifiers, because if they qualify, if they finish third in the group, then they will get maybe a little easier group. If they finish fourth, I don't know. And if they finish last in the group, then it's a problem, because then they will have to get into that extra 2 matches. Like we did last time when if you remember, we played Laos, which we won, I think. Laos. So for the simple reason, Asia Cup qualifiers, this group is still very, very important for India, because World Cup is out of question. India is not going to the next round. Most probably, we cannot say it for certain, but technically it doesn't look India.
मैं बोल देता हूँ, नहीं जा रहे सर, नहीं जा रहा ना.
लेकिन अब जून 15 के पहले, between April 15 and June 15, I think AFC will hold all these group matches, India's group matches. So मार्च में आपको कैंप करना ही होगा,
करना ही है.
इंडिया गोवा में करे या गुवाहाटी में करे या दुबई में करे या दिल्ली में करे, जहां भी करे, लेकिन करना तो पड़ेगा आपको.
वैसे मैं आपको गोवा का बता देता हूँ, because Ishfaq is there, but he's in a bubble. तो मैं अभी गोवा 4 दिन घूम के आया हूँ. Goa is not a bad idea, but I don't know, because A, they're declaring Goa as COVID free. And B, वहां पे सर लोग तो ऐसे चल रहे हैं जैसे मतलब कोविड, अबे कोविड कौन सा कोविड. वहां पे मतलब I was surprised. We'd gone to some place to stay, एंड लोग जहाँ कोविड स्टेट से आ रहे हैं, जैसे ही गोवा में पहुंचे मास्क निकाला और ऐसे खुले में भाग रहे हैं कि
और
पता
जैसे
नहीं क्या
हमारे चांदनी चौक है, मतलब लगता है चांदनी चौक है
वही हो रहा है।
या सदर बाजार है सदर बाजार
बट
भी यही है।
इशफाक, सदर बाजार सही बात, बट इशफाक उसमें ना इन द बिल्ड अप टू द कैंप्स कोच साहब का कमेंट आया कि जो आपका कैंप लगेगा, आई एम गेसिंग ही इज गोइंग टू बी कॉलिंग अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, बट देयर आर टू साइड्स टू लुक इनटू इट. वन, ही सेड कि यू विल सी अ लॉट ऑफ न्यू फेसेस. सी, अब आपका जो ये कैंप है, इट्स बीइंग प्रिपेयर्ड प्राइमरीली फॉर दोस 3 मैचेस. आगे की बात बाद में देखी जाएगी. आपके वो 3 मुकाबलों के लिए कैंप लग रहा है. अब मैं अगर कोच साहब हूं और मैं आई एम जस्ट अज्यूमिंग कि आकाश मिश्रा एक लड़का है जो लेफ्ट फुल बैक में सबकी मतलब निगाहें उस पर, लड़का खेल रहा है, जबरदस्त खेल रहा है. तो क्या मैं एक आकाश मिश्रा को बुलाऊंगा खेलने के लिए फॉर दोस 3 क्रूशियल मैचेस, अ बॉय हु हैज नेवर प्लेड सीनियर लेवल इंडियन फुटबॉल, और डू आई गो विद माय ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड? That is the conundrum. Do you suppose that's a kind of an issue that the coach has to choose now?
See, people who are performing, it's really good for the national team. Pool is getting bigger. The first thing let's take it step by step. What good things happen? Some of the young players have been performing really well, which is a good thing for the national pool. Now, let me tell you, there is a big difference in domestic football and international football. You ask any player who have played. Any player who played this season is, like upcoming player. We have to wait. They have to be consistent also to justify their talent also. It's not in my time, we have seen so many guys coming, top talent. 1 year they play fabulous football, and second year they are not even in the team list on, team squad also. So I think it's going to be, but it's fair to say that if somebody is performing really regularly and well, he should be called for the camp. There is nothing wrong to see him. And as Jaydeep sir said already, if they are playing practice match, try them out. No problem. You have already the people who are already tested. We know that they will perform. So they are always there. The new guys, you can always try in practice. You can see how they will gel up, where they stand the chance, which is good thing for the India. And I always appreciate, from my side, I always feel whoever performs really good consistently in this league should be called camp. I'm not saying he should be playing first 11 or he should be in the team, but at least we should give him a confidence by you are performing. This is because you perform. This is the reward, the camp. And then we see there. Then it's up to national team coach whether they fit in this squad. It is not only how good you are. You have to fit in the squad also. And then you have to see which senior player you are competing against also. You cannot tell one senior player is not performing that well. Nahi bhaiya, junior player is performing this year. We will put him. How is that? There is up and down in everybody's career. The one senior player not performing in 2 or 3 matches or not really performing high doesn't make him a bad player. And giving that, those senior players will have the experience of international football. So it's a very tricky thing, the good thing is that there are good young faces, physically fit, strong, tall. Not only from one team, I think 4 teams who want to do well, who want to perform well, and they are good pro athletes. Not like earlier days when they take good care of their food, everything, which is a good news for Indian football. And all these, some of the players we are talking, they have already good experience of playing in Arrows and age group of national teams. So which is again an advantage. So for me, I think definitely who has performed, coach should call them and check them out. Camp. That's why in camp you don't need to have only 20 players. You can keep 32 players, 35 players. Try them out. If we have a practice match, as Jaydeep sir said already, if we are going to Dubai, try them out with some club matches and see how they are.
So Tathagatha, then I'll take it forward. Sorry. By the way, the last camp before COVID saw 45 players being called. So no surprises if he calls that many, just to reward them. I understand what Ishfaq is trying to say. So if you had to reward kids, and I'm not even saying kids who will make it to the national team, you've been watching the entire league. Who for you are some of the new faces you suppose we'll be seeing in the camp this time?
Well, before that, we need to understand how will how would the coach really select his whole probable list, right? So I think there are two principles in my view. One would be uh, international players who have played in the past. So players who have played international games in the past and who are performing right now, correct? So that's one bucket of players. And the second bucket would be new faces, like you said, who are performing consistently well in the ISL. Consistency, as Ishfaq said, is the key, right? There's another element which what happens with international football is you need to be physically strong because you're coming up against really strong players like Afghanistan, and you have Qatar. So there could be Indian players who are technically very good, but when they come up against international strong players, whether it comes to body strength or even height, they will fail. So keeping that in mind, some new faces, of course, as you said, Akash Mishra is one, that has caught the eye. It will be interesting because it's a probables list. You can always have a bigger list. You can try them out in the practice matches and see. Another interesting name that I like in the wings, is from FC Goa. He's a very strong winger. I think Romario, he's been consistently performing. I have, when you're a winger and you're playing against international side backs, Qatari side backs are going to be very, very big, right? So
this is the boy in Chennai City who was in Chennai City, right, Romario?
Yes.
No,
He was with Chennai City when he moved to Mohun Bagan on loan, and he came to and he's moved to Goa now. So he's been doing very well, and Goa has not been missing Jackie Chan so much because of Romario's addition. So that's another interesting name that I would like to see. In the centre backs, is very critical to have height. 6 foot, 183 centimeters, I think should be the benchmark if possible. So in the last 2-3 games, Sarthak has played for East Bengal. Of course, he has played for the national team as well. So I would like to see Sarthak as well. These are some names. Sarthak is not a new name, but he was out of the list in the last probables sheet which came out in February 2020. I would like to see him back and see how he can do well, because centre back is a major problem for India. We don't have specialist centre backs except maybe Sandesh. And Adil has been, it's like a band-aid job, right? He's not a natural centre back. He's more of a defensive midfielder. So you need to think about those positions as well. Of course, I think the best way to do this is look at it position-wise. See the positions, then see how they will do well.
Fair enough. Jaydeep sir, what do you say? Are you any new names you can add? Or you kind of agree with what Tathagatha is saying about names that you'd like to see?
See, there are, more or less, as Ishfaq said, that which Ishfaq has hinted. I think Stimac will also follow the same. For the last 3 matches, he might go for the tried and tested people. But the thing is that, see, our main problem is what we see is central defenders and strikers. That is what is creating problem. These are and in ISL also, these are the two positions where mostly foreigners are dominating the show. And whatever strikers we have, they are not maybe they are not being able to fulfill our expectations.
But आपका मनवीर सिंह तो अच्छा रहा है sir. मनवीर सिंह.
मनवीर तो is a part of the Indian team. He has been playing for India for last 1 year since Stimac has come. He has been into the team. So we have to. I think we have to find some people who can find the net, in which Manveer Singh is there. Of course, the new boy that super sub they call him, that Arjun Pandit. He has scored 4 goals.
You can't ignore him.
No, you can't ignore him for the simple reason. I don't know, because in a nine, when you take a player, you have to get see his other qualities in 90 minutes. In 90 minutes, a man has to do a lot of other things as well. He cannot be one track. There could be so many other qualities you need to.
But sir, अगर वो लड़का गोल मार रहा है, then you have to take cognizance of that.
That's what I am saying. That at least he can keep the ball in. That is. See, one of India's strikers, Farooq Chaudhary. I think he's playing for Jamshedpur. I believe so. Yeah. But if he utilized his chances, Jamshedpur would have had at least 4 more points. But unfortunately, he couldn't do it. Even JJ has been our main striker for many years, one of our prime strikers. But JJ is not injured and have come back and has not done so well. So I think people like Ishan Pandita, people who have been scoring goals, and as you have already mentioned about Manveer, and I think Ishan Pandita also should be called in the camp among the new faces.
Ishfaq, आपको क्या लगता है? Is there so I'll tell you. So there are two ways of looking at Ishan Pandita. One, there was the hype that here's a boy who's coming from Europe. Then came reality that the boy is not getting playing time. And then came what he could do. That in those limited minutes, I think the stat was 20 odd minutes, and he scored 4 goals, which is unheard of for an Indian striker at the ISL.
Okay, let me correct you first. There is the boy coming from Kashmir and who is playing right now. Doing good. I know his father very well. He comes from South Kashmir. Typical Kashmiri Pandit. No, like you won't find any difference if we sit together. Like very humble guy. What Jaydeep sir, one thing he said, there is a lot of other things you have to see in 90 minutes. He has been scoring, which is well. He's strong, tall, and the most important thing is he has scored goals. Now, he, as already Tathagatha also mentioned, that consistency is the key. Now we'll say he scored 4 goals, but will he be able to in these matches to get attention of his own coach to get in first 11? That will be key, because I am so eager to see him in first 11. I saw him in practice match, but I would also love to see him in playing a full match. How he will do and how is his other aspects towards the game, which is very important. But yes, as of now, he's one of the goal scorer Indian who is doing consistently well. I think he played only 32 minutes and scored 4 goals. And like once can be luck, twice can be luck, but not 4 times. You have to appreciate him to be on the right place, right time, and then scoring the goals also. So yes, why not? He should be definitely looked at. I think he's 6'1" or 6'2". He can win ball in air. You could see yesterday he scored 2 left-footed goals, 2 headers. So he did pretty well, and hopefully, we'll be able to see more. I probably hope that. I wish that he starts one of the FC Goa's match, and it's really hard, but at least get more time on pitch. Not just a tag with the super sub, because for national team we want a proper number 9, not a super sub. We would love to see him to do that. And don't be surprised of Rahul KP. He's a wonderful speedy striker, has been playing for the age group of the national team. Tathagatha might be knowing him very well, in fact. And I am absolutely amazed with this player. He is a really, really good player for future for the India. Your mic is off, mute. Okay.
What about him really impresses you in terms of quality on the field?
The quality, the speed, the fearless factor in him. You have seen he have won, out jumped so many top centre backs. He who are 6'3", 6'4". He is, I think, 5'6" or something like 5'6" or 5'7". He out jumped them. He has already scored a wonderful set piece goal on the corner from the head, scored couple of goals also. I think these young boys are like a really, really good future. Like good for actually whoever will be the national coach. Later on also, as for now, our national coach, it's a good players to have, because they are so good athletes. They are fit. They are they take care of themselves. They know what to do, what to not. You don't have to teach them. You just have to give them plan.
I think the word you use, fearless. Fearless is key. If you are to make that jump from club level football to go play international football, and that is the key for all these players. Tathagat, how do I put it? Let's go position wise. Let's go position wise. In a sense कि अगर आप कैंप देख रहे हो, and कैंप में आप टीम आप बना रहे हो कि मेरे को एटलीस्ट 30 लड़के चाहिए जिनको मैं देखूंगा, 30 लड़कों से तो मैं छाटूंगा 22-23. आपको क्या लगता है? Which position is the one where you really need an injection of new players, not existing players, but an injection of new players, and that can be chosen from the pool in the ISL?
So there is no such position where we need suddenly new players. I am only saying that what's happening is there are some positions in which from the previous national team camp, the players have not been performing well in this ISL. So maybe you need to just try those new faces. Keep the ones who were there previously. I mean, don't discard them, but keep the ones. Bring those new faces and see. For example, I talked about Romario, in the wing position. The spine is more or less sorted, if you ask me. You just keep it consistent from the previous camp. I don't see much of a change in the centre back, the central midfield, as well as striker. We know Mandir and
midfield में तो आपका राउलन हो गया ना, राउलन के साथ
हाँ रोलन, फिर आपका रेनियर हो जाएगा, फिर आप ब्रैंडन रहेगा, फिर अनिरुद्ध रहेगा. So more or less, and central defensive midfield में आपका प्रणॉय रहेगा, विनीत रहेगा. So these are players who have been doing consistently well. So that's more or less sorted.
Is there no one to challenge someone like a Pranoy and a Vineet? Because with all due respect to Vineet and even Pranoy to some extent, I feel, at least from a personal point of view, that they don't quite make the step up to international level football.
हाँ, लेकिन आपके पास रिप्लेसमेंट भी क्या है, आपको तो वो भी देखना पड़ेगा ना. सो फॉर एग्जांपल सेंट्रल डिफेंस, जैसे प्रणॉय और विनीत की बात कर रहे हो, उसके रिप्लेसमेंट्स जैसे केरला ब्लास्टर्स में जिक्सन, ऑफ कोर्स उसको सेंटर बैक के हिसाब से ही इज बीइंग यूज्ड, बट हिज प्राइमरी पोजीशन इज मोर ऑफ अ डिफेंसिव मिडफील्डर. देन यू हैव दीपक टांगरी, राइट? बोथ जिक्सन एंड दीपक आर फिजिकली स्ट्रांग प्लेयर्स, बट कैन दे मूव अप? Suresh is also there. Yes. So these players are very young. They have played in the national team age group teams, but can they move up to a senior national team and take up the mantle from Pranoy or Vineet? So that is a question that can only be answered over a period of time when they play a lot of international games. So those practice games are very, very key, right? So coming back to some new names, as I said, Romario. Then you have Bipin, who's been consistently performing in the wings. Bipin जैसा Rahul की तो बात इशफाक ने कर दिया, so there's nothing new. We don't talk about it. But Bipin is someone that we can see in the left wing. He's much more consistent for me than Lalanzwala Chamte. Chamte is great. He has speed. Finishing में उसका problem है, decision making में उसका issue है. He has to improve that. Bipin, somehow what has happened is because he has been going through the rigor. He has played in the I-League for a long time. Then he has played ISL now for 2 seasons. Mumbai mein last season, towards the end of the last ISL, he started making regular appearances for Mumbai. This year, he has grabbed his opportunity, right? And he has been consistently delivering for Mumbai. So these are some names that I would like to see. So wings mein, I see a lot of changes for me, both right and left, which is Bipin, Rahul KP, Romario. These are the ones whom we would like to bring in. I think the coach should bring it. Apart from, of course, Udanta, he should be there. Of course, he's not had a great season, but you cannot.
Because you said Changte, And I think the same applies to someone like an Udanta in the sense that there is speed. There is, of course, that physicality. So speed comes with physicality.
Correct.
But again, consistency, decision making, all of that is missing. Like there is one good Udanta day, then there are 4 bad Udanta days. Then it goes like that.
Right. So I'm not saying discard Changte altogether. You keep him, but add these new faces and try them in the practice games and see who's better for you. See, it's very important. See, if for the coach, he has to get the 3rd or the 4th spot. You have to ensure that you qualify for the Asia Cup qualifiers, right? So it is very important for him to ensure that he gets results in the next 3 games. But also he has to keep in mind that when the Asia Cup qualifiers come, that time he should have a fresh squad as well. He should have much more options. You will have very limited time because of this pandemic. 1 year has been lost, so you could not play a lot of international games, right? So friendlies, I don't know whether they would Indian national team will have enough chances to play friendlies between the World Cup qualifiers and the Asia Cup qualifiers. So you will not have much time for these players to get used to the national team setup or an international game setup. So bring them in along with the Changtes, the Udantas, and see what happens in these practice games and these next 3 games. So it's a very tricky situation, if you ask me, for the national team coach.
Yeah, I kind of agree, Jaydeep sir, because so I'll put you in the coach's spot, right? यहाँ पे लड़के परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं और धनाधन परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, they're performing better than regulars from the national team. So then what do you do? I mean, do you say, okay, they are playing well in the camp, so their momentum is there, camp में वो अच्छा खेला, do you give them a shot?
Jaydeep sir, is your device on charger? Or are you charging it?
No, nothing.
Yeah, because there is some
audio.
There's audio.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now it is not there.
Just try connecting again. Just disconnect and try connecting again. I'll take that question to Ishfaq. Ishfaq, मैं तो ये कह रहा हूँ कि ये लड़के मोमेंटम में जो यंग लड़के हैं, अच्छा खेल रहे हैं, प्लेइंग टाइम मिल रहा है लड़कों को जबरदस्त. आप अगर कोच के नजरिए पे आओगे सर और आप कहोगे जी मेरे पास 3 मुकाबले हैं और 3 बड़े मुकाबले हैं क्योंकि मेरे को एशियन कप के लिए क्वालिफाई करना है. अभी वहां पे भी गाड़ी थोड़ी अपनी डामाडोल हुई है. तो आप क्या करोगे? If these boys are playing better than Udanta, if these boys are playing better than say Changte, who've been in the national team for a while, will you take a punt on them and say, okay, chal bhai?
See, first of all, you have to see the balance. Like when you call a squad very important, or even the ISL or I-League squad, you make it balance-wise. कितने defenders लेने? You cannot call कि अगर भाई काफी wingers अभी perform कर रहे हैं हर एक club में, but you cannot call 10 wingers. Like it's unfortunate, but that is how it is. We are developing more wingers, so उन wingers एक तरीके से अच्छा है. Whoever is better, whoever is best, they should get call up. And then it comes to defense. Defense is always a little bit lesser than midfielders. Midfielders is more, and up front strikers will be a smaller number of strikers than the midfield and defense. And that's how you usually make the squad. You cannot have more number of defenders and less number of midfielders, even if they are like good also. But that's unfortunate for the players, but that's good for the country because we are producing more good players. That's how the competition, like the level goes up. And if we are, why we are producing so many wingers, as Tathagatha also said, because there is the competition. More Indian players play on those positions, and we are producing more wingers. And there you might see some names. You will see critics calling, "Hey, why this guy was not calling? Why this guy?" But he cannot call everyone. So he has to see, as I totally agree with Tathagatha, call all former players who have been performed. They have to come there. You cannot just gamble on new players only. And then check them. Whoever was consistent. Maybe if we are playing practice matches, check them. Even we are playing matches with each other. When you are playing club level, even with each other, it's completely different. And when you are playing in the national team, the pressure level is different. Everything is different. You might be a little bit nervous because you're playing for country. It's not like your one set of fans are following you. Everyone is following you. there are all the other things which involves in young player, how he handles the pressure, and especially the international level. So for me, some of the players who have performed, we should definitely call them. There is a good thing, like as Tathagat also said, most of these guys have played for age groups for the national team, which is good, and have a good exposure, especially the under 17 batch who played the World Cup. They have played lot of international level matches. He was talking about Jigson also, which Jigson is now looked up for two positions, as a centre back, as a midfielder. He might sort out our centre back problem, because this guy has the pace, height, and good feet. So that he might sort of entire nation's problem. But the matches he played for us as a defensive midfielder this season was fabulous. We have no complaints, and we had to play him there because he has the speed and everything, and which is good. I think national team coach already knows this, and all the young players who have been performing, which is good thing. But as a coach, if I have to say, I will definitely go with a balance. I take them some old players, as Tathagat said. You cannot take chance on the new player. They may have performed in the club. Bring them, definitely bring them, and just see them how they perform. And as he rightly said, we have to take them along. Like, you cannot just inject them all of a sudden. Just like, it has to be like that replacement, that pyramid, like one going. We have replacement. We have definitely replacements. Now we have these young guys coming. So take them alongside with you, give them confidence slowly, and they should be later on take the places of the senior pros. And how we were talking about after Sunil. Sunil is still fit, performing. Now Manveer is doing. So hopefully we have, because Manveer was already the part of the Indian national team, which is good thing. He already know how the international football is. Now he can slowly be the integral part of the team. He is already, and this is how this process should happen. Not like making 5 changes or 6 changes in first 11 or in a first team because they performed and then we change. That will be never, because next year will be new set of players who are performing. You can't discard these guys and then bring them.
अभी जो बैच आया है, like the injection of new players जो इस साल ISL में आया है, now to see another injection of such new players, I think it'll take you a number of years. तो आपने देख लिया कि अब नेशनल टीम में जो 40-45 इर्द गिर्द जो होंगे, कहीं ना कहीं आप अब अंदाजा लगा सकते हो कि आपको दिख गए कि 40-45 कौन होंगे जिनमें से वो छांटेगा अपने कैंप.
Good, that's a good thing ना. अगर हम लोग का वो एक ग्रुप मिल रहा है. See, Chante is not old, Udanta is not old, and trust me, for me I'm into coaching, these are some of my favorite players. It just sometimes you will have a dip, but those boys, what they have to learn, not to go up like this and then go dip, then go like this. How to keep this consistent on one scale, like going towards up only, not going down, not going up like this. Like that is what they have to learn. Some of them have been a little bit unfortunate. Udanta has not been playing earlier under a former coach, and now he started. And it takes time when you are in bench and then coming to perform like matches. It's not easy. It's really difficult for players. Like, you lose your confidence. That's how you become better. Sometimes if you have that confidence, you can have that mental strength to keep yourself going. And I'm sure these guys will be there and perform for the national team for a long time. Like, they are also young. Don't forget, these guys are not that old. They might be a year or two older than these guys.
No, that's what I was trying to say. That आपकी ना आप पकाते हो ना टीम, तो आपकी टीम पक के अब तैयार है 4-5 साल के लिए. In that sense, I'm just saying, just keeping in mind of what we've seen of these players in the ISL. What they do at international level is another step. And if they do play at that level, how they play at that level is another step. But I'm just saying, one can assume कि ये जो आपकी पकी पकाई डिश है, उसमें आपके पास 4-5 साल का जूस है निकालने के लिए. आप एक और नेक्स्ट क्वालिफिकेशन प्रोसेस निकाल सकते हो, or you can plan with this team. जयदीप सर, दूसरी जो लीग है जो दोपहर के 2 बजे खेले जाती है और 3 कैमरों से कवर की जाती है एंड बेहतरीन कमेंट्री के साथ दी जाती है, उस लीग में आपने कुछ लड़के दिखे जो बुलाए जाएंगे? क्योंकि पिछला जो कैंप हुआ था उसमें एक भी लड़के का नाम नहीं आया था.
Unfortunately not.
No, no.
But I'm not losing hopes. I'll wait losing hopes because I'll wait till that Super 5 or Super 6, whatever they're playing.
Yeah.
So I think if we go to that Super 6 or that level, then there could be things could be more competitive, and we could find some better players. But so far there are some good players. But so far I with confidence I cannot say that some of them any of them could be called for the national camp. I'm not very sure about it, frankly speaking.
Would I be right in saying that probably this is the first year that you can actually see a clear divide in the level of ISL and I-League? And you can
because
that the ISL is top league and the I-League is the second league.
Because the two teams which were actually the main teams of I-League have moved to the ISL.
True.
That has created a huge void. See, any tournament without these two teams looks very ordinary. Even today. Ishfaq was
the player pool became less also, na? Because this side teams have been extended, more teams are here, and for the I-League the pool of players became less also, because for ISL now there is number of players are more.
Yeah, that is also there. Or Ishfaq, you have played for Mohun Bagan, you know. अगर पूरा इंडिया ही सोचता है कि यार मोहन बगान ईस्ट बंगाल से खेलूंगा.
That is like I have that was, you know, like I still remember when I was playing, that was the dream, ultimate dream. You have a dream for playing for the national team, of course. You know, for me, getting in those days for the Mohun Bagan team was even difficult part.
Yeah, and not only that, the other teams also think कि यार उनसे खेलना है. There are I-League officials who are I-League club officials who have clearly told me कि हम तो टीम बंद करवा देंगे. किसके साथ खेलने के लिए I-League खेल रहे हैं? We were playing because Mohun Bagan East Bengal were there. We were playing. Arrows के साथ खेलना है क्या? फिर पैसे खराब करना है क्या मेरा? At least one I-League official has said it, or club official has clearly. So वो भी एक reason है.
But Dada, there is like now good hope now. Like I think from next year there is a relegation and promotion.
22-23.
So at least there is a hope. This time these I-League teams can prepare, you know, like teams for that. If they get an entry in that, that's fabulous for them.
उसका flip side भी है सर. मैं आपको उसका flip side ये है कि आपके जो उड़ीसा के जो मालिक हैं, आपसे हमने कुछ दिन पहले बातचीत करी थी, बड़ी गुफ्तगू, और गुफ्तगू में हमने बोला कि जनाब आप तो लास्ट चल रहे हो, तो लास्ट अगर आप अगले साल चले तो आपने तो डुबकी मार देनी नीचे आई-लीग में. अगर आपकी टीम ने डुबकी मार दी वापस आई-लीग में, क्या आप टीम को बैक करोगे? उन्होंने कहा जनाब ना, हम छोड़ देंगे.
तो इसमें क्या है, ये पहले भी हुआ इंडियन फुटबॉल में, जो रेलीगेट हुए उन्होंने टीम बंद कराई है. It's not a new thing. Unfortunate. This is unfortunate, but we have seen this thing.
या हुआ है, बाद में आ भी गया है. अब डेलीगेट ना होके भी टीम बंद कर दिया लोगों ने.
बंद कर दिया है.
वो तो मतलब when you have one owner, that is the problem. उसकी एक दिन सुबह लगा यार बड़ा पैसे खराब हो रहा है, बंद कर इसको.
सिंपल से डेम्पो बंद नहीं हुआ भैया, डेम्पो बंद नहीं हुआ. मैंने 2 लीग जीते हैं डेम्पो के साथ. Those days they used to be top team.
सही बात है.
I'm saying that's fine. I'm just saying this could be an issue once the relegation promotion starts. So this hope that relegation promotion is starting on that particular time, I don't think that's true. I think there's more to it than meets the eye, but we won't get into that. That's a separate chat. Tathagat, you also been watching the I-League here. No player, you suppose, that can be called up for the. I'm assuming उसने 40 लड़के बुलाए. तो 40 के 40 ISL की कोई भी I-League का आपको लग नहीं रहा लड़का दिखेगा वहाँ?
नहीं, बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. जैसे जयदीप दा ने बोला है कि you know it's very not too it's too early to say that, but I still don't believe that even after the I-League gets over you can still call any player yet. Unfortunate, but don't lose hope from the I-League, because एक बात है, जैसे प्लेयर सप्लाई बढ़ने वाला है वहां से। 4 फॉरेनर खेल रहे हैं वहां पे, जो एक बहुत बड़ी बात है। आपके और 2 टीमें हैं वहां पे, इंडियन फुल इंडियन स्क्वाड्स लेके खेल रहे हैं, सुदेवा इंडियन एरोज। तो आपका ये आई लीग विल दिस ईयर यू मे नॉट गेट कॉल अप्स फ्रॉम द आई लीग, बट if this continues, the trend continues like Sudeva, and if this was a full I League, this is a curtailed I League, right? Essentially, you're not, each team is not playing 20 games. So if there were 20 games and the following season, if Sudeva, Indian Arrows, or some other team, continues with Indian players, you will have the striker problem and the center back problem will slowly, get resolved on its own. Because you will have these players coming from there. They will move to the ISL because it's the top tier. It's natural process from second division to first division. But it will be an important contributor to the national team. So it may not have it may not contribute directly to the national team, but in the long run, this league is going to contribute to the national team through the ISL. So it's going to be a collaborative effort. It is not. I don't, at this juncture, I know there's a tendency we see that, अरे उस लीग से नहीं बुलाया, but वो अभी second division है, तो तुम्हें first division खेलना पड़ेगा.
Simple. एंड वो है ना वहां पे असिस्टेंट कोच देख रहा है वो भी. जब उनको लगेगा कोई कुछ रैंकी इज देयर, सो आई एम श्योर वो सब टीम्स के साथ खेलेंगे तो उनको पता ही चलेगा. So at least somebody is watching there.
And one more thing, I think, Ishfaq, is there is one reason: the quality of foreigners is far better in ISL.
True.
That also helps the Indian players too better.
True, very true.
अगर आई लीग के क्वालिटी ऑफ फॉरेनर्स इस लेवल के हो जाते तो हो सकता है कुछ इंडियन प्लेयर्स आल्सो मतलब आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि they
will improve. True, of course.
basking in somebody else's glory, that I am not trying to say that.
नहीं, improve करते हैं definitely.
improve करेंगे और हो सकता है कि क्योंकि क्वालिटी ऑफ फॉरेनर्स जो भी है 2-4 को छोड़ के उस लेवल के फॉरेनर्स नहीं है आई लीग के अंदर.
As Jaydeep, as Arjun already said, ये साल थोड़ा बहुत मतलब आंखों देखी ही दिख रहा है कि कितनी डिफरेंस है. आप देख सकते हैं कि आई एम नॉट सेइंग it's because of telecast order, but you can see the quality also.
Yeah, you can make out their division down. It's pretty apparent.
Arjun, I was not there for a few minutes, but have we since we are talking about the forwards, have we spoken about Liston Colasso? I thought
interesting you brought it up because sir, Liston Colasso तो एक वो हवाई हुई थी Liston Colasso in that run of matches. लेकिन उसके बाद से I haven't heard too much about him.
He has not been playing. हाँ बताओ. हाँ.
He has to. Sorry, Dada, but I have seen they have played practice matches.
Okay.
Somebody can dribble pass. I still remember there were, I forgot his name. One guy from he was in TFA. He was, I think, Deepak after Deepak Das batch, and he played with me under 20 in under 23 national team. He was with me. Sheikh Sanjeev or something, I think. Sheikh
Sanjeev, yeah, very fine player, dribbler, great dribbler of the ball.
Yeah, exactly. If you see him, he might beat entire team with dribbling. But and had like really good quality. Everybody used to be scared one-on-one. I still remember Mahesh Bhai told me, "Bhai, this guy, I don't want to be one-on-one with him because you never know which foot he is playing, which side he will go." Fabulous player. But what happened? Like consistency is the key. People have to perform. It is not only you dribble 5 players and score a goal. Whether in coaching, I need to see whether he's coming back or defending also. That's me. If I score 1, I don't need to. I have to see. I should not concede 2 goals. That because that is in modern football. That's very important part of the wingers. Or even for the strikers, they need to work hard and do defending. It's not, like my centre backs are centre backs and they will do the job. In modern football, like everybody has to do the defensive job. Everybody has to participate in the attacking transition. So for me, he has to develop still. If he gets camp call fair enough, but I still feel he has to develop a lot.
But just to take it forward, I feel in this new batch of players, and whenever you blood them in, and whatever you believe is the right time to blood them in, how many to blood them in, over how many years or whatever, one, you would have to agree that a lot of ball-playing players are now coming in. Players who are feeling comfortable on the ball, which you would not generally associate with Indian players when playing at the international level. यहाँ पे तो सब शेर हैं, अच्छी बात है, ये अपनी लीग है, अपना घर है, पर जब आप स्टेप अप मारोगे, वहां पे कौन वैसे करता है? तभी सुनील अपने लिए टॉप प्लेयर है, क्योंकि सुनील उस लेवल पे भी वैसे ही करता है जैसे वो यहाँ पे करता है। बट एटलीस्ट आप देख सकते हो बेस है कि उन लड़कों को बॉल पसंद है, बॉल के साथ इधर उधर खेलना पसंद है, मूव करना पसंद है।
लेकिन तो देख रहे हैं ना, नेशनल टीम में वो लोग वैसे खेलते हैं। यहाँ पे यू हैव अ मिक्सचर ऑफ फॉरेनर्स, यू नो, इवन इफ यू डोंट वांट टू प्ले, they force you to play it sometimes little bit quality football. No offense to, I'm not criticizing our players, but as Jaydeep Basu said that जब अच्छे foreigners आते हैं तो you develop. So हमारे Indian players में भी confidence है. They are doing now, the new generation, they want to keep the ball, because in previous ISLs some of the teams, they played that Guardiola style football. And they are doing now. Our Indian players are more confident. You see, now we are producing some goalkeepers who are very comfortable with the feet also. So because it is about the style, what style we are playing in clubs. Most of the clubs are playing now possession-based football. Even if you see the English coach with the East Bengal, I thought they also have been. They actually started playing really good football now. They are keeping the ball. And their formation is very interesting. So for me, it is when we will go to the national team. What is our national team philosophy? What is national team coach's philosophy? And what kind of players he feel that we have, and we will play what kind of football?
I think they wish to move in that direction, because I remember when Siddhant and I had done a chat with Isaac Doru, and he said, yeah, of course you can't pick up something and say ki chalo ji ye dalo, but the aim is that you want a team that is comfortable on the ball, where you're not chasing the ball and you're not always hoping ki transition ho, they are to attack karo us time. The point is you want to hold the ball. Even if you're playing against a top quality team, you should have the composure and that, you know, that confidence to hold the ball. And maybe I think that is the way moving forward, that you find these guys, क्योंकि सर physicality में और running में हम नहीं compete कर सकते। हम मतलब चलो भाग लो, you can run the same amount of kilometers, but physicality and all, you know, it's very difficult for us to do that. So if India has to really stamp themselves in the international scene and to feel comfortable in the international arena, when you're playing against top quality opposition, then you have to have control over the ball. Maybe not for large parts of the game, but whenever you do have the ball, you don't give it away, ताकि आप दो और फिर आपके ऊपर, you know, अटैक उनका पड़ा बड़ी टीम का। जैसे सुनील एक बारी हमारे शो पे आया था, तो he said right now the philosophy of this national team is that if the goalkeeper has the ball, you play it out to a defender, 2-3 passes and one Udanta Ashik up booming, and that is the way forward. उनको भगाओ, because these boys are fast boys. Even at the international level, they can give defenders a run for their money. So right now, this is the current the way this national team is playing. But I'm guessing with the injection of these young boys and the way they're playing in the ISL, you have scope to change that. You have scope to say, ki, no, let's hold the ball now. Let's move the ball around slowly and bring it up. Unlike always looking for that long avenue to find an Udanta or an Ashik in the wing, or give it to Sunil in the hole and ask him to do something. So maybe that could change. Guys, we're coming close to the end of the show. So what I'll do is, before we leave, I'll ask each and every one of you, because the whole chat was on who are the new boys who we feel can make the camp. Now, whether they make the national team is a different thing. I don't want to get into that. But Tathagatha, I'll start with you. If you could list your 5 players who you think are a sure shot that we'll see in the national camp, whenever Stimac calls it for the Dubai camp.
You mean the new boys?
Yeah, the new boys. Who've not made it to a national team camp before.
Okay, so I would say Sana from Hyderabad FC. He should also be called.
Stopper back.
Yes, I would like to see him. I talked about Romario, Bipin, those two. I would love to see Deepak Tangri in the defensive midfield position. Jixon, I'm not talking about him because he was in the probables list last year as well. So he's not a new name. And as I said, as Jaydeep said, Ishan Pandita just call him and have a look, see what he can do.
Hmm.
Give him maybe if you are playing 2 games, basically 4 halves, give him 1 half or 2 halves and see what he can do against international opponent in the practice game, not in the final. I'm not talking about the main competitive game.
Hmm.
So just see, have a look at them.
Okay, so Ishfaq Pandita, Sana, there's Romario, there's Bipin, and
Tangri.
And Tangdi, yeah. Tangdi, I love Tangdi. Tangdi मेरे को लगता है, यहाँ बड़ा खिला है, तो डरता नहीं है, तो मेरे को भी वो पसंद है उसके बारे में, और रनिंग अच्छी है, बॉल अच्छा मारता है, बॉल पकड़ता है अच्छा, so should be nice to see.
And he gets bitten as well.
हाँ, मतलब वही ना, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ ना कि वो थोड़ा निडर है यहाँ से.
I hope Federation have taken notice of that, यार. That's disgraceful, यार. From a national, from somebody, from international player to do that.
Yeah.
मतलब ठीक है सर, मैं उसमें जाऊंगा नहीं. जयदीप सर, आप अपने 5 प्लेयर बताओ.
नहीं, मोर और लेस तो ये क्या नाम है, तथागत तो बता ही दिया है. 1-2 प्लेयर मैं उसके साथ ऐड करना चाहूंगा. एक तो केरला का डिफेंडर संदीप सिंह मुझे अच्छा लगा है. He could be called to the camp. I thought. I don't know what Ishfaq feels about it.
He will be, I guess.
Huh?
He will be, I guess.
He should be there. And one of the goalkeepers, I don't remember whether, I think I'm talking about Odisha goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He could be called, just to test him as a 4th goalkeeper also, just to give him confidence. He could be called to the camp. मतलब हम एक ही गोलकीपर को देखे हैं, हर बार 4th गोलकीपर जैसे बुलाए जाते हैं और उसके बाद वो बाहर हो जाते हैं. तो I don't want to name him. He is also a good goalkeeper. तो उसलिए मैं सोच रहा था कि अगर उसको बुला के फिर थोड़े दिन देख के फिर, I am not saying he will make the first 2 or first 3, but he could be called. I don't remember his name. If one of you can remember his name, Odisha goalkeeper.
Arshpreet.
Yeah. I think he could be tested in the camp as not for the national team but for the camp, including and also Sandeep Singh. These 2 boys. And
the rest, you're in agreement with what Tathagatha is saying.
But more or less the same.
You said Akash Mishra.
देखो वो साइड पैक,
it's a given.
अच्छा, it's a given. मतलब हाँ, बहुत प्यारा खेल रहा है यार वो लड़का.
But I think Arjun, I don't know. I feel as far as wingbacks are concerned, Stimac might go with the same set of people, like Subhashish, like Pritam, like Rahul KP, like all the. I think he might go with the same set of people. I'm not sure, but he can be called to the camp, of course. Why not?
Called to the camp and getting into the team is different thing.
Yeah.
But at least be rewarded, like Ishfaq said. Ishfaq, आपके 5 players and who you suppose new boys who we might see in the camp for the first time.
See, I don't know about 5 guys, but I will tell you a few names who should be in the camp. I think definitely the goalkeeper, even from our team, Kerala, Albino, and from Orissa, both the goalkeepers should be looked at least have a look at them. And defense, as Jaydeep already said, Sandeep is one strong fellow who might sort out our problems because he can play right back and centre back both. He's strong. Only thing is that he has not played the level, even the ISL level he is playing the first time. If coached properly and given time, he can be solution. And then there is Akash, which is he is performing. He was in Arrows, so I think definitely. I would watch for Rahul KP, and there is definitely Bipin. He has been performing really well. These are the new faces, and I don't know why I feel like this guy also, Ame, has been also playing right back really well for Mumbai City. He has been doing pretty well. So these are the new names, like I feel like if previous players and maybe Hyderabad's Yasir also have been doing good.
Yes.
Is it too early for Yasir to get into the camp, you suppose? Is that the reason that won't happen? कि बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगा? या पोजीशन नहीं है वहाँ पे, क्योंकि वो बथेड़ी में प्लेयर है अपने वहाँ पे उस पोजीशन.
No, ठीक है, but I'm not saying that they should play, but I feel like like when they had 3 foreigners or 2 foreigners available, Hyderabad, and he was playing their number 10, he did brilliant. And he might be only one of the number 10 who's left-footed. Good left foot. Like sometimes these left-footed players do their magic and and which he did actually in the first those 5-6 matches when he was playing. Only 2 foreigners were available. I thought Hyderabad looked much better that time than now.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, absolutely.
They were playing fast football. It was moving. There was fluidity to the way they were playing.
Yeah. So yeah, because all the other players, you see, this Holy Charan have been performing really well. There's a tough competition for the wings. Like all these players, pro players who have been performing, he will definitely call them, because there is no time for experiment. We want to qualify for the Asia Cup, so because he will be under pressure also, and he will be definitely calling these young players. I'm sure he already mentioned it. You will see a lot of new faces, which is good thing, and these guys deserve also, because they are playing every match for their club also.
Fair enough.
And is it you think, Arjun, that in our discussion and maybe in Stimac's list also, Nishu Kumar will miss out just because he has not played enough minutes?
No, he's injured. Let me correct you guys. He is injured. He is not big because of he's our first choice. Because coach already knows this, national team coach, because one good thing about this national team coach, he keeps, like he's well informed. He calls clubs and everything about his players and everything, and he was concerned about him. He knows it. He has which is a very strange injury. It's not a like dangerous injury, but it doesn't allow you like to play freely. He has a patellar inflammation inside, like which only gets well for the when you take a 2 months rest. Almost, like because you keep having medicine and you play 2 matches and then it comes back. So Nishu's problem is that. Otherwise, he is undoubtedly one of our best Indian player, like who is a sure first 11 starter.
Perfect. Jaydeep Basu, Tathagat, and Ishfaq, thank you so much for your time. Guys, I hope we answered the questions you guys were looking, which you had posed at us, and we've given you enough answers for the players who you suppose and who we suppose will make the national team camp. Because सच में बताएं भाई, हम तो वेट कर रहे हैं कि नेशनल टीम कब खेलेगी. अपने को तो नेशनल टीम देखने में मजा आता है. एंड अभी मैं प्रॉमिस तो नहीं करूंगा कि वापस कब आएंगे, इतना आएंगे. तो वो आप बस हमारे साथ जुड़े रहना, और अगर दिल का कनेक्शन है तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि हम कब आ रहे हैं.
Arjun, before I forgot, was Suresh in last camp or he was?
Suresh was in the last camp.
Okay.
He was
in the 40 wala camp. I think he was there.
Yeah. Then I don't know. Otherwise he should be, because I am really impressed with that.
पर वो जो पोजीशन पे खेल रहा है, उस पोजीशन पे ना वो प्लेटफॉर्म भरा हुआ है.
But sir, defensive midfielder, I was really impressed with it. I think I told many players he reminds me of Mehtab. Maybe in fact he's faster than him. Yeah, he's doing all the dirty work because वो दिखता नहीं है on TV कि वो क्या करता है, but he does the best job.
नहीं, Suresh नहीं था.
He wasn't. Okay.
Suresh was not there.
So then Suresh should
also be looked into.
Getting a look in. He, in fact, we call him one of the mainstays. One of the first 2 names in that, at least for that team. So if you are establishing, हाँ जी, Tathagat, you were saying something.
नहीं, एक्चुअली क्या हो गया ना कि बेस्ट होता अगर ओलंपिक कैंप या एशियन गेम्स कैंप अंडर 23 कैंप में, तो वहां पे ये सब नए लड़के को आप बुला सकते थे, खिलवा सकते थे कुछ मैचेस, बट डायरेक्ट वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर है, इट वाज वेरी ट्रिकी. आइडियली अंडर 23.
आइडियली भेज दो नेक्स्ट टाइम पे सैफ खाली अंडर 23 भेज. बेस्ट.
मैं आपको बताऊं, सॉरी मैं क्रिकेट खेलता हूं, पर ये जो इनके 8 ओवर होते हैं ना, यहाँ पे प्लेयर बनते हैं इनके, जो ये 8 overs करते हैं, इंडिया A करता है, they go all over the world touring और the other 8 teams come here to play. यहाँ पे आपकी supply line बनती है. So I don't know. I mean, अगर हम इतना खर्चा कर रहे हैं on sending these junior boys all over because we don't have a solid club system that can sustain them over the 12-month period. So we are sending them all over. Why not do something maybe not at a level, but a lower level?
And one
Them going and doing so is not as much, but at least you do twice a year. And you
and
send
Arjun,
them to play practice matches and do something or the other. पता चलेगा ना कि कौन सा लड़का है जो ऊपर आ सकता है उस level पे.
Arjun, one last line before you finish. It's close to half time, and Arrows is leading 1-0 against Mohammed Sporting.
तो मतलब ये माउंटेन स्पोर्टिंग का कोच सेट नेक्स्ट टाइम है.
हाँ एकदम that means you need young players.
बहुत ज्यादा यंग लग रहे हैं सर, बहुत छोटे लग रहे हैं. टीम बनी है, स्कूल के बच्चे लग रहे हैं,
बट लेकिन अच्छा है ना, एक्सपोजर मिल रहा है.
हाँ बिल्कुल
no doubt. Jaydeep sir, Ishfaq, Tathagatha, thank you so much for your time, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of 420 Dan. We'll of course come again when we come again. I don't know, and hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.